Really, Larry? Really? So, you think that Christians and people in general should not watch R rated movies, and that it's apparently a sin to watch R rated films, and it's, quote, bad for your spirit, apparently, according to Larry the Batman fan. Now, listen, this is something that me and Larry have never exactly agreed on. This is a subject that we've never seen eye to eye on. But here's the thing, this is something that he has to come to terms with. He has to come to terms with the fact that not everybody's going to agree with his takes. I think his takes on R rated movies is absolutely delusional, and I think he's been brainwashed. I'm just going to say it. I think he's been brainwashed to believe all this nonsense. But I'll get into my theories to why this is. I don't know with you, Larry. I really don't. I don't know why it seems like you have to bring this up every single time that we have a discussion on Messenger, because yes, sometimes I do chat with him on Messenger. I usually try to give people the benefit of the doubt, including Larry. But it seems like to me, Larry just wants to start this crap on purpose because he knows that me and him don't see eye to eye on the subject when it comes to R-rated movies. Dude, you know that I disagree with you on that, so there's no reason for you to keep bringing it up on Messenger. Like, oh, NC-17 and R-rated movies, bad, 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 bad. I don't agree, Larry. Sorry. And I'm not going to change my mind. Sorry. You can keep trying, but it's not going to happen. Okay? So I don't know why you keep bringing it up. Dude, you got to stop being such a wuss. No offense, dude, but you got to stop being such a wuss. You're a grown man, and you're concerned about ratings of a movie. You know how absolutely silly and ridiculous that sounds? That makes you look like the pathetic one, Larry. Again, no offense, but it's true. Your take on R-rated movies is delusional. Now, I'm going to get into why I believe that you do function this way. And I don't mean to get personal here, but it's probably because he's been indoctrinated by his adopted mom, who I guess is pretty strict on him and was pretty strict on him growing up. Just from the things that he's told me, like how he wasn't allowed to watch R-rated movies when he was younger, and how he was never allowed to play M-rated video games till much later in life. And look, dude, that applies to me too. I didn't start playing M-rated games till I was like 13. And, even before then, I had classmates, when I would go to school and such, who would talk about these games like Call of Duty, Gears of War, Grand Theft Auto, and all these different types of games. M-rated games, mature-rated games. And, in a sense, I felt like I was missing out because I was never allowed to play those games when, I was younger, at least not till I turned 13. So, I'm just wondering, Larry, you never had that sense of, missing out? You're kind of treating strictness like it was a good thing. Like, you actually liked that you had parents that were strict on you, because that's what it seems like to me. Because you think that, oh, well, my parent, they're the authority and they know what's right because, they're a man/woman of God or whatever, and they know what's right and they know better than me, yada, yada, yada. Look, dude, there's nothing wrong with disagreeing with your parents. Newsflash, but it's not a crime to disagree with your parents. That can be the case. Your parents are not always right, dude. And you got to have a mind of your own, too. You got to think about how you feel and what you feel is right, not what somebody else feels or tells you. Don't be so easily influenced, dude. You know, I understand, the whole honoring your parents argument. I get that, but once again, there's nothing wrong with disagreeing with your parents. Nothing wrong with that. So I just wanted to point that out if that's what's the case here. If that's the reason why you feel the way that you do about R-rated films, because you were taught to believe this way. I mean, I think regardless, either way you were, but it's just a matter of who. But I just don't get it. I just absolutely don't get it. I mean, what exactly is so bad with R-rated films? Most of them, anyway. I understand you want to stay away from some of them. There's some of them that I stay away from. That I don't exactly feel comfortable watching. Like that movie X that came out a few years ago now. Kind of an uncomfortable movie to watch, in my opinion. Kind of a weird movie. It was rated R. So I understand you want to stay away from films like that. I get that. But to say that most or all R-rated movies are bad is just delusional. So you mean to tell me that we shouldn't watch movies like John Wick? The John Wick films? Like those are a sin to watch? The Rambo movies? Like we shouldn't watch those? Hard Target? I mean, I could go down the list. I could go down the list of R-rated movies that I think most people would argue are not bad to watch. They don't really affect you negatively. Heck, there's even some movies that are rated R that you can make the argument, well, do they even deserve to be rated R? Like the Ip Man films with Donnie Yen. I'm pretty sure the first film at least is rated R. I don't really see much reason for that movie to be rated R. I mean, I guess it's because of the violence, but still. But dude, there's no rule book or there's no verse in the Bible that says anything about R-rated movies. Obviously, because, well, the Bible was written, long before R-rated movies were a thing, movies in general. So you get the idea, right? So I don't understand why you believe that R-rated movies is a sin and, you feel like you have to repent every time you watch one. I don't know, Larry, if you just think that because something is rated R, like it's just guaranteed to have nudity or something in the film or some kind of explicit content like that. Now, when it comes to that stuff, if it's like brief or if it's only for like one scene, I don't really have an issue with it. Like I said, if it's a case where it's like the movie X, I can understand that. But if it's like one scene or two, whatever, I don't understand what the big deal is. But the other thing is, too, is not all R-rated movies contain that. Some movies are rated R just because of the violence. And, yeah, a lot of R-rated films, they drop the F-bomb many times. But, I mean, whatever, right? So I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. I don't understand why you believe this about R-rated films, why you believe that it's a sin to watch them. I think it's ridiculous that you believe that. And what about the film Passion of the Christ? Rated R. A Christian film. Rated R. I think it would be pretty ironic if you said that it would be a sin to watch that. I don't know. But it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, Larry. And once again, you need to come to terms with the fact that we're not going to see eye to eye on this subject. And not only that, Larry, you're doing this to yourself. You're going to be missing out on a lot of great movies just because of the rating. You're a grown man, Larry. You're in your early 30s and you're worried about R-rated movies. That to me is just pathetic. I'm sorry, Larry, but it's pathetic and it makes you look like a wuss. I'm just going to say it. It does. Because no grown man on planet Earth should be worried about that unless, once again, it is a case like the movie X or something alike where it is rather uncomfortable to watch. And listen, entertainment is all subjective. I understand this. So if you want to stay away from R-rated movies, you do you. I don't really care, but don't tell other people what to do and don't, speak foolishness about how R-rated movies are a sin. Well, I don't watch R-rated movies because I'm a Christian man. Dur, dur, dur. Well, there's other Christian people that obviously like this stuff too. So there you go. I don't get it. So, and they don't see an issue with it, like when they watch the John Wick films, or I don't know, the Rambo films or something. They don't see anything wrong with it. They don't feel that it affects their spirit negatively or what have you. I seriously doubt, Larry, if you watch John Wick, you're going to stray away from God. You know how absolutely delusional that sounds? It makes zero sense. Okay, so I just have to criticize you here, because I think your take on R-rated movies is just so delusional, and it's hard to believe that there's actually people on this planet that think the way you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really got to grow a pair, Larry. You really do. And you got to man up. So there you go. Just accept the fact that you and I will never see eye to eye on R-rated movies. I don't believe that it's a sin. There's no rule book or anything written anywhere where it says it is, so I don't understand why, because, oh, my adopted mom said so. Who cares? Like I said, dude, you're allowed to disagree with your parents. You're allowed to disagree with people in general, obviously. And just because somebody tells you that they're a Christian or a believer in God, it doesn't automatically mean that they're always right. They could be wrong about things too. I've been wrong about things. Everybody's been wrong about things. You're allowed to disagree with people. That's just the way that it goes. That's called life. So that'll be it for this video. Larry, I just hope that you consider the things that I said here and understand that not all R-rated movies are bad to watch. Like I said, there's certain instances where, you could make an exception and say that, yeah, it's probably not good to watch this film or that film or whatever. I understand that there are those exceptions. But I would argue that if not 90%, at least 85% of R-rated movies are okay to watch. I would argue that. So there you go. So let me know what you think. Thank you for watching.